Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second class. Today we'll continue with process safety management. We'll continue with process safety management as we talk from our last class. So, process safety management refers to the set of integrated approach to managing hazard associated with process industry. Process safety management just informing others to join us online. So sorry about that. Process safety management refers to a set of integrated approach to managing hazard associated with the process industry. And it is intended to reduce the frequency and the severity of incidents resulting from release of chemical and other energy sources. Last week, when we started the process safety management, we listened and dealt with classical example of hazard that has occurred in the industry, in the chemical industry, in the production industry, various hazards that has occurred that has led to death and injury to workers. And in order for stakeholders to find a lasting solution to this, we decided to do what? They decided to come up with an action called process safety management. And that has been on for years now, whereby process of mitigating hazard in industry will be reduced. So process safety management is actually an analytical tool focused on preventing release of chemical or hazardous materials from the industrial process. So the process safety management refers to integrated approach to managing hazard, which means it's not just one process. It's an integrated approach. It's a multi-dimensional approach that can be used to what? Reduce hazard in the industry. So the frequency of accident, the severity of accidents are actually reduced if process safety management are incorporated into a company process. So what is process safety management? It's actually a proactive action. It's a proactive action. It's an action that deals with human performance in order to what? Reduce risk. Human action in order to what? Reduce risk. Hello? Hello, sir. Lecture has started. Hello, sir. Hello, lecture has started. Is it on? It's on, we are on. I saw enter on the page, they go to another meeting. Yeah, maybe you are not using the right link. I just shared another link now. So let's see if we can use that to join. So we will take example of incident that has happened that resulted to the action of process safety management. The Bhopal Union Carbide accident in India in 1984, 3,800 fatality, over 100,000 injuries and several damages, which include livestock, crop, and a long-term health effect, which resulted in over 470 million compensation. Over 470 million compensation. Also, the Chernobyl USSR 1986 nuclear plant explosion is another example. The Gulf Oil US 2010 British Petroleum Deep Horizon is also an example of an industrial accident that we can use to explain process safety. The Challenger disaster, the NASA Challenger disaster that was supposed to carry astronauts into space, that got exploded in 1986. It's another example of what we can use to explain process safety management. So let's take it one after the other. The Union Carbide Corporation operating in Bhopal manufacture methyl cyanide. They are a company that manufacture. Ubong, you are raising up your hand. Anything? Ubong, you are raising up your hand. Do you have any issue?
No.
You don't have any issue. Are you seeing the slide?
No.
Are you seeing the slide?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So the Union Carbide Corporation in India, the incident that happened in 1984 that killed over 100,000 people. Results as a result of a leakage in the industrial facility. There was a leakage, and that's what led to the disaster. So how did this happen? On the night of the accident, approximately 2,000 liters of water was introduced into the storage tank, causing an exothermic reaction. So when this occurs, there is no consequence on how the water was improperly introduced. You know, they'll be putting the water on constantly. But the main thing that happened is that prior to that incident, production has been halted 6 months. The company has not produced for 6 months, and they just started producing again. They did not know that some of the coming. Oh, I have 2 students waiting. Okay, I think everybody waiting has joined. I think everybody waiting has joined. So production has been altered 6 months prior to hit. However, they failed to find out that some of the things, some of the pipes, some of the production process are leaking. Some of it are leaking. So when the water was introduced, it caused an exothermic reaction, and that gives a feedback. So after the incident, it was determined and it was found out that some of the pipe, the inventory of the highly toxic material that were introduced has corroded the plant, and the workers can feel some peppery thing in their eyes. But because they did not give the observation quickly, that was what caused the explosion. Let's take another example. The Philip Petroleum Austin Chemical Complex. The Philip Petroleum Austin Chemical Complex. During the course of operation at the Philip Petroleum Austin Chemical Complex in Texas in October 23, 1989, an explosion engulfed killing, resulting in 23 people dead. In addition, more than 100 people were injured in various degrees. What happened? Information available at the time of the report indicate that there was a failure in either the line or the valve which carried the ethylene and the isobutane. The line was reported to have been approximately 10 inches in diameter and possibly carrying 700 pounds per square inch. The thing was supposed to carry 700 pounds per square inch, but the pipe they are using is what? 10 millimeter in diameter, which shows that the pipe is what? Is too small to carry the load, the pressure load of the thing. And because the thing is a chemical, it exploded. And the explosion caused 23 people dead. So you can see that various incidents can occur due to industrial accident. So three critical things that industrial accidents causes is: one, it affects health and safety; two, it causes environmental impact; three, it causes corporate loss. Let's take it one after the other. When an accident or incident happens, maybe an explosion or a leakage, there will be health and safety issue. The first health and safety issue that will occur are probably to the workers. Are probably to what? To the workers, because they are the ones that are directly close to the facility. So when a major incident occurs, the workers are the one that that suffered most. The next set of people that suffer most are the people, the public, probably people living close to the facility, or people within the facility area, or people that are associated with the facility. The second one is the environmental impact. No matter how small an incident will occur, there will be an impact, either to the atmosphere, or to the water, surrounding water body, or to the terrestrial, to the land around it. Let's give an example now. If an explosion occurs, it will burn. When it burns, there will be smoke in the air. That will call atmospheric pollution. Then, immediately the explosion occurs, if it rains, even if it doesn't rain, the fire service will come and they will try to dose the fire with a lot of chemical. Those chemicals will run on the ground. When they run on the ground, they go into the gutter. From the gutter, they go to the nearest water body. That will affect the aquatic animal. The one that did not go into the water body will go onto the land and to affect plants. So basically, environmental hazard affect the environment, both the air, the water, and the land. The other one is the corporate loss. The other one is the corporate loss. The other one is the corporate loss. When an incident occurs, if a factory got burned, they will need to clean up. If they need to clean up, they'll pay people to clean it up. That means the company will spend money. A company that are just burned, that just got burned, that a disaster just occurred, and we are now asking them to clean up, they will clean. And that's cost money. There will be insurance loss. Not everything will insurance pay for. The insurance will want to do investigation. And if insurance find out that it's a result of negligence, insurance will not pay. And that will be a loss to the company. A company that got burns or that have got damages, there will be productivity loss. Throughout that period, they won't work. They won't be able to produce because of what? Because of loss. And why they even start producing, they won't produce at high capacity. And there's probability that their product will what? The quality of their product will what? Will reduce. The next thing is about what? Reputation. Reputation. The company will lose its reputation. I said earlier in the morning, in our first lecture in the morning, that I gave an example about Hold on. I gave an example about Dangote trucks. If anybody sees Dangote company now, the first notion Nigerians have is about what? Dangote people normally cause accident too. Dangote people normally cause accident too. Dangote people normally cause accident. That is the general notion everybody has in Nigeria about Dangote as a company. But the benefit the company is doing to us, most people don't even look at that. The company has a sugar factory, they have a petrochemical factory, they have a cement factory. But any small accident now, they said a truck killed somebody. Before they even know the truck that caused it, Nigerians will say, it's Dangote truck. Why? Because they have been known, they have been synonymous with accident. And that is affecting their what? Their reputation. So let's go in deep into the health and safety. The health and safety for workers, it can result in death, it can result in injury, it can be long-term health problem. For the public can also die. It can become economic loss. If a factory burn and it affects the buildings around the factory, they'll pay compensation. They'll pay compensation. And there'll be the community at which they work, there'll be no friendship with them. I've talked about the environmental impact. I said the environmental impact for atmosphere, they can contaminate the air used by human and animal. They can contaminate property. They can interfere with the normal quality of life and business. If a factory is burning now, the people around there, can they work? They can't work. They can't trade. Everybody will park because they don't know the extent to which that fire will occur. For corporate loss, I said, okay, clean up. Example, for cleanup of the deep horizon that occur in the Gulf of Mexico, the legal settlement alone cost Mobil $14 billion. It causes Mobil International $14 billion. That's a huge amount of money because of one major accident. I've talked about reputation. If a company reputation is bad, it could lead to boycott. People may boycott their product. People may not want to buy their product. Reputation of an employer that values safety. So if a company does not have good record of safety, you see people saying, no, I can't work with that company. I can't work with that company. That company, when we work there, less than 2 years, you die. The company is already losing reputation because they don't have a good safety record. So that is the general outcome of today's lecture. That's the general outcome of today's lecture. It's a short one. It's a short one. Let me just review for those who joined us late. The basic purpose is we're expanding the process safety management. And we said last week, when we started the course, we said process safety management has 3 key aspects. We have the individual safety, we have the safety itself, the physical safety, and we have the collective safety. So for individual, it can either be occupational or personal. While for collective, it can either be civil or industrial. And I gave you various examples of things that can happen. And I decided to explain major incident that has happened in terms of process safety. I gave about the Bhopal in India, in Bhopal, the Union Carbide, a company that is producing insecticide that got exploded and 3,800 people died, over 100,000 injuries. The nuclear plant in USSR, the Chernobyl nuclear reactor that causes human radiation to people. It's not only the particulate matters and the dust even move to other parts of Europe. We talk about the Gulf oil spill in the US, the British Petroleum, where I explained that over 4.5 billion was used for settlement. Was used for settlement. Also, I gave an example about the Challenger disaster, the NASA plane carrying crew to the sky that got exploded. Imagine the astronauts who are going, how would their families feel seeing their parents, their father, their husband burning in front of everybody? It was something that was disastrous in 1986 when the plane exploded off the Gulf of Mexico. So these are major industrial accidents that has happened. And we're able to look at what really caused some of these accidents. What really caused some of these accidents? The thing that caused most of these accidents are simple things that can be that can be accounted for. I gave an example about the Philip Petroleum. I gave an example about the Philip Petroleum that killed 23 known people. I said one of the line that was supposed to carry ethylene and isopropane, it was reported that the line that is being used is 10-inch. The diameter is 10-inch. However, the product that is supposed to carry is as much as 700 pounds per square pressure. Can a 10-inch pipe carry that pressure? Because the pressure is too much for that pipe, that's what causes the explosion and leads to the killing of 23 people. So all these accidents and all these incidents are major things that occur. What can it do? It can affect health and safety, it can cause environmental impact, and it can also cause corporate loss. Health and safety in terms that the workers' health can be affected, and the general public health can also be affected. So for the workers, it can lead to death, it can lead to injury, it can cause long-term health problem. It can also lead to personal monetary sources of injury or health problem associated for future work. For public, it can lead to death. It can lead to economic loss. If a company gets exploded now, the people around them, if they are traders, that means they've lost their means of livelihood. So that is in terms of health and safety. For environmental impact, there could be atmospheric contamination, there could be aquatic contamination, and there could be terrestrial contamination. Most of us are familiar with a common thing that is happening in River State now. There's smooth in the atmosphere in rivers because a lot of people are producing petroleum products illegally in rivers. So sometimes in the afternoon in rivers, you see the whole place become so dark because the cloud is with smooth that comes from poor process of petroleum product manufacturing. So for corporate loss also, if a company causes an explosion or an oil spill, they will have to clean it up. And when they clean it up, they'll use money. So there's cost for cleaning up. There's also cost for insurance. The reputation of the company will get damaged. And while the company is picking up, they will lose product quality. So these are things that process safety management can help us to avoid in the industry. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of today's lecture. So for those who did not join us in the morning, we are able to do electrical safety. I've been able to do electrical safety in the morning, and we have also been able to finish process safety today. Next week, I don't know if I will be available. I'm supposed to supervise a project on Saturday. So if I can't make it next Saturday, we will do our lecture Sunday evening. I don't want to miss any class again because the exam is fast approaching. Any question? I'm recording this lecture. At the end of the class, I will share the recording. So for people who missed, they can. Are we all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Why is everybody? I can't see. We can't see anybody. People's face now. Why?
Yeah,
you don't want to show your face.
Don't back up. Sir, don't worry.
No makeup. So because of no makeup, you don't want to show your face. That's bad. No makeup. So it is makeup that will not allow you to show your face in class. Okay, it's all right. So women, we understand though.
So look at the face. So
Peace, how are you?
fine, thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, well done.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Festus, you can't hear you. Obong, we can't hear. Some people are just joining now. When we have finished the class, it is well with them.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, but we can't see your face. You said you are asking a question. What are the ways to mitigate the explosion? Okay. What causes explosion most especially are if the process is not properly articulated. Like I gave an example, a pipe is 10 inch, but the product that is passing through the pipe, the pressure of the product is too much. So that means it will expand. And when it expands, it will explode. So we must be able to, process safety is to help us to check any accident that can occur before they occur. That is the purpose of process safety. They normally tell us that, okay, let me give an example. We have our car tires. And every car tires has the particular gear that must be put in the tires of the cars. For car, for jeep, for trailer. If somebody decided to put the pressure of a trailer inside the car tire, what will happen? The tire will explode. The tire will explode because that is not the design pressure for that kind of car. And that's what happened. Most especially, people don't follow instructions. And that is known for Nigerians. Nigerians generally, when we go and buy products, we don't read the instructional manual. We just ask my friend, hey, how are you? When you buy your Techno, what did you do with the Techno? You say, I just charge up, I do this thing. The Techno that you buy may be different from the Techno the other person buy. So, but we won't read the manual. Charge it for 3 hours, so charge it for 5 hours. Don't worry, just charge it for 1 hour, the thing can work. That is not it. We must be able to follow instruction, very well and articulate it. And that's what will save us. And also apart from that, we must be able to have check and balance. We must be able to have check and balance. Do check and balance and cross-check things. If you are in charge of a facility, if you're in charge of a factory, you must be able to have what you call a checklist. How do we check this? When is our pressure high? When is our pressure low? We have a standard. The standard says every time before you drive your car, check the water radiator, check the brake fluid. Not that when you are driving on the road and you now match the brake and the brake did not catch. That is what most people do. And that's what most industry also do. They don't do the checking that they are supposed to check before the production starts. For like people that work with fan belts, they said the fan belt must be changed at every 100 hours. Check fan belt every 100 hours. But people don't check the fan belt. They don't change the fan belt. They say, don't worry, let's continue to use it. So when the fan belt cause problem and cause accident, they will not be blaming the manufacturer. So the best way to mitigate explosion or to mitigate accident is to have a checklist by which you can cross-check where accidents can occur in your process line. Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We are listening. Any other question? You say yes, sir. We are listening, or you want to type the question? Type the question if you don't want to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. We are waiting for the question. Oh, we have few minutes. So.
Yes, sir.
Otobo, say something. I'm not good at all.
I'm typing, I'm done.
You are typing. You can't see the question. No.
I can't see the question. Make it show what you type now.
I've sent it.
Say it out now so that you can hear.
What are the risks in mitigating explosion? What are the risks in mitigating explosion? Risk as in what? You say what are the risks in mitigating?
Sir.
What are the mitigation in?
Yes, sir.
What are the mitigation of? I can't. You say what are the risks in mitigating?
The risk first. While the mitigation.
Okay, what are the mitigation for? Okay, the first thing is I have said it. If you are a company or you are a supervisor for a company, you must be able to understand your process line very well.
Okay.
So if you understand your process line very well and follow it, some company, they will tell them that, okay, you service your engine or you do shut down at this particular period after 30 hours. Some companies say, let's take it to 35 hours. If you are taking it to 35 hours, you are what? You are risking it. You are putting it as risk. Number two, some company don't train their workers. You must be able to train people before they work on any tools, before they work on any machinery. Then one of the things that causes accidents in industry are lack of proper training. Lack of proper training. Also, when people don't do proper check, proper medical checkup, proper eye checkup, proper stability checkup. A person that is working on a crane operator now, a crane operator must have good stability. A crane operator must have good stability because by the time you are moving your hand cannot be shaking if you are carrying a container. Any small shaking while you are carrying the container, there can be what? It can fall. And a good operator, a crane operator must know stability. He must know stability. Because if you are offloading a ship, you cannot just offload the ship anyhow. Because the balancing of the container on the ship can help the ship to sink or to what? To float. So there are always mitigating factors that will help you to. You can't say you are a worker now because you know your company process very well. And you see a sign, they say no smoking, and you are smoking there. You are already creating what? An explosive situation. You are risking your life for explosion because you are smoking in what you call a no smoking designation. Also, how we store materials. How we store materials can also help us to mitigate explosion. Some people, they store hazardous materials close to where fire is imminent. You can't store hazardous materials close to where fire is what? Is imminent. So these are things that we can use to mitigate explosion in our industry. The key thing is you must follow standard operating procedure. Standard operating procedure must be highly adhered to. Workers must be trained and retrained, trained and retrained. There is no amount of money we can spend on training that cannot save our lives or cannot save the production process. Thank you. We have 4 minutes more.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. Festus.
So I want to request, if possible, if we can have the material before next week to enable us follow up.
The video material, which one?
You promised the hard copies.
The hard copies. You want to come and take? Can somebody come and take it to my office?
It all depends. Where can we meet you, sir?
My office is Ministry of Environment, Alausa Ikeja.
But that implies that is if you would not be coming next Saturday, sir.
I don't think I'll be coming next Saturday. I just said that because I just received a message that I'm supposed to supervise a project on behalf of the state government on Saturday. So if it's confirmed, I've received the message today, this Saturday. That means I have a week notice. If it is confirmed, I won't come to class next Saturday. So somebody have to pick.
Yes, okay.
Somebody have to pick the lecture material during the week.
Okay, there's no means of dispatching it to the school on Saturday so that we can pick them up and
okay, I said I should send a dispatch rider. That means somebody have to be in school very early so that the dispatch rider can give the person.
Okay, can I stand by to receive it on Saturday?
No problem. If you are available, I will find a way to get to you on Saturday.
Okay, we'll be expecting them, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And what about the cost implication?
The cost implication. When I get, I will look at I will calculate the cost of production and put some margin pros. But to you people have said you can't pay more than 1.5.
1,000.
Which
1,000 will be too much. 800.
800. Okay, keep it.
Yes, sir.
I hold my hand out with me.
No. Okay, let's not pass 1,000.
It's 1.5. It's not 1,000.
No, Father. Let's not pass 1,000.
Okay, no worries.
Please.
Let me keep my hand out tonight. It's not by force now.
No. Just do it. But let's not pass like that.
It already. It has been. It has been produced already. So we said 1.5. You people said 1.5. You now want to come and say 800. Now, Pepe, on a meet with the price. Now, Pepe, on a meet with the price.
Country hard.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody is showing their face. If you are showing your face, I will have taken the picture of.
I showed my face very well.
Which face you show? You wait, they show us food. They show us food when they eat. They show us
yes.
You show us your leg and the food when they eat. They show your face. Which face should they show?
Sorry, sir. No best. Come and join.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
thank you, sir.
I'll pause the video after the class.
But I joined late. The first one, I miss it. I don't even know the topic. Please, if you can.
Don't worry. The two video will be online before 2 o'clock.
Okay, sir.
I'll send
okay, we appreciate, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
You too. Take care. Go and vote, oh.
I don't have how they call it, material to vote.
You don't have material to vote. You are not a good negotiator, no?
A very bad one.
You are not a good negotiator, no?
Lagos has forgotten my area, so we are not really interested in voting for anybody.
That's bad, dude. That's bad, dude. That's bad, dude. That's bad, dude. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
The rest of your day. Thanks.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.